Hello there. I want to introduce a knife and a knife brand that's new to this playlist. This is a marbles knife. These are knives that are put out by Smoky Mountain Knife Works, similar to the Rough Rider brand. Now, I've heard on the internet, now this is a MR216. Let's set this down a minute. I've read, or watched rather, videos on the internet where people say, well, marbles and Rough Rider are made in the same factory. They're produced by Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and they are essentially the same thing. Well, they have different series. There are marbles series, and then there are Rough Rider series, but I actually contacted Smoky Mountain Knife Works because I wanted to know before I posted a video like this whether that was true or not, and they basically sent me an email back and they told me that the marbles and the Rough Rider series are both knives that they produce, and they are designed from the same source. So they have the same designer or group of designers, but that, let me see if I can get this right. The rumors that they are the same brand, or the same knife rather, just with different names, is an unsubstantiated rumor. That's how they put it. Basically what they're saying is they have not confirmed that. They're not saying they're not, and they're not saying they are. They're saying that they have not confirmed it. And it's probably in their best interest to let people continue to speculate, because they'll probably sell more knives that way. But this is the Marbles MR216, and this is a look at the box for every hour in the open. This is a discontinued line, I believe. Smoky Mountain Knife Works, I think, still has the Trapper in the Tortoise series, but that's it. And everywhere online that I go to try to look this up to get a price on it, they say discontinued, or they say out of stock. Okay, so even Amazon, I believe. So let's look at the knife, though. This is a beautiful knife. Let's set that there. This, I believe, is what Marbles calls their swayback whittler. And you see how the back is swayed? Well, they call it that because of that swayed back, but that swayed back is basically a pattern, a traditional knife pattern called a Congress. But anyway, really nice appointments. Love the tortoiseshell. Wonderful fit and finish. Have triple line bolsters. Here. That's these lines going out. Someone called them something else before, I don't know why, but all I ever heard them was line bolsters, and they are nickel silver bolsters that are kind of aged, so that they're not bright and clean, but they've got that kind of patinaed look to them, same as the shield. But this is a true whittler, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. But a lot of whittlers come with 3 blades, and are usually in some type of Stockman pattern. This one is the same. It has a standard drop point blade, a standard pin blade, and a coping blade instead of a sheep's foot blade. And I think, if I remember correctly, that is standard for a true whittler. But what makes this, and I like the little thumb notch there, the easy access notch. They have match strike nail nicks, 448 stainless. It's got lovely walk, not real heavy and not real light, just lovely. But what makes this a true whittler, for me anyway, is it has a split back. And what I mean by that, when you look at this, and that's what I call it, I don't know what the proper name for it is, but when you look at this, you see that you have 3 brass liners and 2 springs. Okay, 2 back springs, but you have 3 blades, right? So you have 2 back springs, and the reason that it is a Stockman pattern is because it has 3 blades, one on one end, and 2 my fingernails are very weak, and 2 on the other. And when you look at this knife, the 2 smaller blades each have a different spring. That one works on that spring. This one works on that spring. Okay? But the main blade, the business end, so to speak, it works on both of those springs. And that is what a typically original type of whittler, that's the way it's designed. It seems like nowadays anything that's small and has a Stockman pattern, they're calling a whittler. Okay, and that's fine if you want to use that term loosely. If the knife manufacturers named it a whittler, then I'm going to introduce it as their whittler. But that's the difference between them. The true difference between is that split spring back. So, but wonderful. Can't feel the pins barely at all. Just a very tiny little bit. 1 or 2 of them. That big main one there. That you can't feel the transitions. There's no besides the split back spring that's supposed to be that way. I don't see any voids or anything like this, like that. The knife is very well made, really classily done, and very beautiful in my opinion. And this will be going on my carry list. The set of knives that I actually carry. This is a lovely little knife. Every bit of lovely right there. So that is the Marbles Swayback Whittler MR216 in the Tortoise series. Thanks for watching. Later.